Let's talk about Bucky Badger, jump around, the Wisconsin Badgers, the Fighting Luke Fickles. Speaking of fighting Luke Fickell is fighting for his job this year. Look, I think we all have a little bit of a special affinity for the Wisconsin Badgers, given our relationship, our friendship. Ryan, you especially, with Chris Borland, the former Wisconsin All-American stud linebacker, who will be going into the Wisconsin Hall of Fame this year. But been a tough go of it, really, since the start of the NIL, the transfer portal. Wisconsin seems like they are a program that used to be in the upper echelon of the Big Ten that's kind of made their way to the bottom and not kept up with the Joneses. But I'll come to you here first, since we're talking Badgers, and I know that you still are close and talk with Borland quite a bit. Not that he's filling you in too much with any inside intel, but would love to hear what you make of Wisconsin. And are we talking about a new leadership in Madison next year, or does Luke Fickell fight and bounce back and keep his job heading into 2027?
I think Wisconsin has a good chance to bounce back this year. They've had a real bad stretch of luck with QB health. And with the type of system they were trying to run up there offensively, you need a healthy quarterback. So if they can get a little, I don't want to necessarily say luck, but if they can just keep the transfer quarterback Colton Joseph healthy, I think we have a good chance to see a turnaround. It's a brutal start to the schedule with Notre Dame week 1, Penn State week 4, but after that it gets about as good as you can get for a Big Ten schedule, with Michigan State, UCLA, USC, Iowa, Rutgers, Maryland, Purdue, Minnesota. I mean, you miss Ohio State, Oregon, Indiana, and Michigan. That's pretty good. If this was a normal Wisconsin team that could really pound the ball, I would be very confident in some of these over-unders and props that they're offering right now. But until I see the quarterback really get on the field, improve it, and stay healthy, I don't know how you could put too many chips on this team. I want Wisconsin to be good. I want to root for them, but I just don't have any confidence. Max, do you have more confidence than I do in the Badgers this year?
No, I don't. And really, one thing stands out to me: the over/under is 6.5 wins. And if it's anywhere near that, I think Luke Fickell is going to be joining his best pal Mike Vrabel on the Patriots staff. I just don't see how, if you win anything less than 8 games with a $25 million roster that they went and paid for. I mean, I think Luke Fickell was out at the booster dinners under the table going skiing just to get all that money and actually put a roster together. So if they can't do it with that kind of budget, and you bring in this Old Dominion kid who had over 2,500 yards passing and over 1,000 yards rushing and 33 total TDs. If he can translate that to the Big Ten, Luke Fickell may save his job. I think the pieces they put around it are great, but we've talked about this in other conferences too, where we've overhauled the roster. We've brought in all transfers, and sure, it's great to get that money and be able to do that. But at the end of the day, there is something to be said about chemistry and building team chemistry in just a short time over spring and summer. Listen, these other teams in the Big Ten that have been together and have better roster production, I just don't see how Wisconsin can go out and win games. I mean, Notre Dame week 1 is definitely a loss. I would say USC is probably their other guaranteed loss. The rest of the schedule is pretty open. So it's like, Luke Fickell, you got the roster now. There's no excuses. It's put up or shut up. But the fact that it's still 6.5 wins is an over/under. I think Vegas is on to something here, and I don't think that if they come anything short of 8 wins, I think Fickell's probably gone.
Yeah, I'm not sure about 8. I think if they're 7-5, but they play a tight, competitive game with Notre Dame, I think it just can't look as bad as it did at times last year and the year before. And I think that keeping their quarterback on the field will certainly help with that. They tried to do the dairy raid. I think it sounds like they're kind of moving away from that dairy raid thing, and they're going to kind of get back to Wisconsin bread and butter, more pound the rock style of football. I like what they have on defense in terms of kind of you always think, at least for me, I always think of Wisconsin, kind of the defensive line and the linebackers, the front seven first, right? They've got two young stud linebackers in Mason Posa and Cooper Catalano. And the biggest reason for optimism to me, and I'm rooting for Fickell. I know he's a Badger right now, but he's a Buckeye. He'll always be a Buckeye at heart. And I think the biggest reason for optimism is just the schedule. There's just more opportunity to win coin flip games and to win games against teams that are more in their tier. You look at their schedule last year, 4 out of their 5 games were on the road against Alabama, Michigan, Oregon, and Indiana. Right. I mean, so I know Michigan wasn't as strong as they'd been and they had the freshman quarterback, but it's still, I mean, that's a program that won the national championship 2 years prior. And then at Alabama, at Oregon, at Indiana, 3 playoff teams. So they don't have that type of kind of gauntlet on the road this year. I think Notre Dame beats them in week 1. I think Notre Dame is everyone, but what better time to get Notre Dame and to get an opportunity to sneak up on Notre Dame than week 1 in Lambeau Field. Everyone's been sucking Notre Dame's dick, pumping their tires all summer. This is an opportunity for Luke Fickell to come out and put together a game plan with maybe a quarterback that they really like, with more talent than they've had on the roster in probably the last 4 or 5 years. This is an opportunity to come out in Lambeau Field and kind of make a statement. And even if you don't win that game against Notre Dame, keep it close into the 4th quarter. Make it competitive. Make Notre Dame work for that win. And I think that'll really kind of propel them towards a pretty strong season for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and Casey, I'm glad you brought that up. One question I want to pose to you guys. Am I crazy? I was looking at, and Notre Dame is 20.5-point favorites, which I thought was crazy. But the money line for that is Wisconsin is plus 950. And I was looking, they are 30-1 to make the college football playoff. If they beat Notre Dame, you look at their schedule, is it crazy to play that 30-1 as as a way to juice those 9.5-1 odds for that money line right there?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really is because, yeah, if they've got the talent and the ability to come out and beat Notre Dame on a neutral field, then yeah, I mean, 30-1, and that'll be immediately the best resume win of the year, week 1, obviously, but Notre Dame is going to be 1, 2, or 3 in pretty much any poll to start the season. So I think if they can come out and upset Notre Dame, I'm not predicting it to happen. I will tell you that when we do our week 1 preview show, though, I'm taking Wisconsin plus 20.5. I don't think they get their doors blown off in Lambeau to start the season. So I think that's a great point, though, Ryan. It is kind of a fun way to. It's not hedging. It's kind of the opposite of hedging, but to kind of play a future on Wisconsin having a successful season.
Yeah, listen, I don't think it's crazy. I think if you want to get really crazy, we go plus 950 parlayed with the CFP odds of 30-1 or whatever it was. Then you're just getting insane odds. So
if they let me do that, I would love that. I doubt they let you do that though.
Yeah. Well, listen, it'd be crazy.